Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Is anybody listening?
Yeah, this one's from Sis's Hey. Comforting. New listener, I'm so glad I found this podcast. Shout out St. Monica.
Yay.
Both of your
We need that button. You know what it reminds me of? Sorry.
The Lord? Not the Lord. Angels.
Angels, but
Saints.
there was, in your band from New York, The Handsome Public.
The Handsome Public.
There was a song where it had, I think it was I'm in China, the song I'm in China.
Do you want to do me?
Okay.
That was the chorus. I'm in China. Do you want to do me?
No, it was, no, you're wrong, actually.
I'm totally wrong. I'm in China. Do you want to do
That
me?
was the, second part of the chorus.
I'm in China. Oh, yeah. Do you want to do me? What was the first part?
But it's just, so telling that the one line you remember from that song is, do you want to do me? God. So embarrassing.
Here it is.
Take me to the movies or something?
Take me to the movies. I'm in China. I saw you in the movies. I'm in China. Do you want to do me?
Okay.
It was a jam.
So I was right. So you, maybe it wasn't I'm in China. There was a song from the Handsome Public that started like, ah, and it was like, ah, 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 ah.
Well,
the vocals became kind of part of the track.
I like to use those kind of fake vocals a lot, but the intro of I'm in China is like,
Yeah. Let's move on from.
What?
This is a little problematic.
What is? Wait, what's problematic about what I just did?
Well, I don't know if it's cultural appropriation or anything.
Oh, no.
Two white guys, and then the song had kind of Chinese music undertones.
Maybe a little bit, but I don't actually think there's anything wrong with it. It was...
There was another song that I think you started your concerts with. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that does ring a bell.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I wish we had that for St. Monica. How have we already gotten to cultural appropriation? We haven't even gotten through the review.
Oh, wow. That's
Okay.
right. Let's get back to the review. Wow, that was a crazy tangent. Shout outs to St. Monica.
Yes.
Both of your voices are very soothing to me. I do not think that last minute was soothing to anybody. I struggle with anxiety, and the combination of your banter and the way you listen to each other is really comforting to me. I'm hooked.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that our voices are comforting after last week's whole fiasco with the cast iron skillet and several comments about my voice. And what was that? There was one review that I had at one point in time. I had posted it as my Twitter background, but it was that my voice sounded like...
Are you talking about the cast iron skillet
No.
comments? This is before...
This was from back in the day, Totally Lame or something like that, but it was a hilarious comment.
Your voice sounds like the voice of an angel?
Okay, I have found it.
Yeah.
So the title was Worst Earwolf Podcast, period. Abysmal. A massive misfire on the part of Earwolf. Lame is an uncharismatic, incompetent interviewer who sounds like a cartoon baby turtle who wants to hide in its shell. Her directionless interview style and starstruck demeanor reminded me of the Chris Farley show. That's kind of funny. But I like a baby turtle stuck in a shell.
Do you still see who the person is? Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to troll that person.
No.
20 years later.
No. So... honestly, that one makes me laugh. At least it's descriptive and stuff. So, thank you for that review is my point. Now, several people pointed out that last week's episode, you said that you had three restaurant experiences you wanted to talk about. And you only made it through 2 of them. What was number 3?
Right. Okay. There's a Chinese restaurant that I go to. Oh, I love it so much. And I'm VIP over there.
Well, I want to, let's tell that story. Because it's a story worth telling.
We've talked about this on the show before.
I don't think we have.
Really? Well, we'll recap right now. Our local Chinese restaurant, when I call, they clearly have caller ID. I get a very warm...
You're not telling the story.
Then tell the story. I don't know what the story is besides that I'm like in at this place and they love me.
Okay, you're ruining the story. The story was, we love this place so much. I'm telling the story of when you realized you were a VIP.
Great.
This is a good story.
Great. I don't know what you're telling, so do it.
So, the beginning of the pandemic, there was a lot of anti-Asian hate.
Okay.
A lot. Do you remember? And it seemed like Chinese restaurants were getting affected. People were doing cultural... We started this episode with your song, I'm in China, which I'm not sure is great, but might be fine.
I could literally, I'm so VIP at this restaurant, I could go in there, play them the song, and get the feedback and find out what they think.
I kind of want you to do that.
And I guarantee my main hookup there, super down with the song.
Okay. You can't say that. You don't know. You have to revisit the song.
Okay.
You didn't remember the lyrics to the song.
But I do now.
I don't think you do. I don't think you remember all of the lyrics to the song. So anyway, not that there was nothing like a slur or anything. It was not hateful at all. It was, I don't know what it was, but...
The only Asian thing about it was that the story of the song took place in China.
But the music kind of had Chinese, like, undertones, and some of the visuals, I feel like you had something from, like, Mao Zedong era of soldiers marching. I don't know.
Oh, in the live show? Yes. Is that offensive? We don't know.
Okay, so anyway.
God. Well, now I do know why we talked about the song, because we're talking about my favorite Chinese restaurant.
Yes.
So it all is coming together.
So we started heavily ordering from this restaurant and tipping big because we wanted to support our local Chinese restaurant because it seemed like they were taking a hit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was the big tips or if it was you, because you oftentimes will go in and pick it up also.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, you did get on a short list, a VIP list, and I remember it as being one of the happiest moments of your life.
Yeah.
They texted you the specials. That was, I think step one was you called and they answered the phone and said, "Hi, Andy."
Yeah.
Then they texted you the specials, which, like, but it was, like, not necessarily a form text. It was, like, a for you text that made you very jazzed. So that was the beginning of it, and you weren't really sure. We weren't clear about, like...
Are you sure? It's so funny, and again, we're in a spot where our memories differ. I feel like I was in before the pandemic, and that then the pandemic just solidified my status there.
I actually feel like my Twitter,
and we honestly we might even have, like, the evidence.
I tweeted, my husband has officially, like, please congratulate my husband. He has officially achieved VIP status at our local. It was during the pandemic. I'm positive.
Okay.
So, since then, if you call, they're answering, "Hi, Andy." When you go in, they treat you like royalty. They deliver, like, the delivery time sometimes is like an hour and a half. We're getting ours in 25 minutes.
Okay, now I feel like maybe you're exaggerating.
No,
you're making me blush over here.
Well,
I don't know.
It's true. They love you.
Mm-hmm.
They love you. You're on the list when you're in some sort of system for sure. It's not just one person there kind of knows you and whatever.
And we've done the control where you have called. They do not say your name when you call.
I'm not in the system.
We've asked friends, very credible friends that love this restaurant too. Mm-hmm. They do not get the first name treatment either. And it is, you've heard it because I do it on speakerphone sometimes when I call. It is very warm. It is a very familiar,
"Hi,
Andy." Am I fucking ruining all of this right now? is it like, what, what if in some weird way they listen to this show or something, or someone and a friend, and I'm ruining it, and then my old song, I'm in China, is going to... What if all of this is some really weird... What if I'm blowing everything right now? What if I'm blowing it?
That would be a huge, huge, huge hit. I mean...
I don't think so, because I have so much love for that family and their food and the restaurant.
Okay, so what's very funny is this was put to the test last week because you called on Monday. You called, no one answered, and you realized they're closed on... Or no, you called and no one answered, and then I think you went online and realized, oh, they're closed.
No. I called, no one answered, and they texted me, hey, we closed at 3 today.
Right. So you called, and they saw that you had called.
Yeah.
And then they texted you, we closed at 3.
And this is not an operation that has an automated system to pull off those sort of shenanigans, right?
So whatever, it's a wonderful shining light through the pandemic for us. It's buoyed your spirits. It gives us a lot of joy. So I then go to our doctor.
GP, is that what it's called?
GP.
Yep.
Who is not close to us. It's like almost like a trip out of town for us to get to our doctor. So when you go to the GP, it's going to be a whole day event, but we love our GP. We've been with him for 13 years now. He's a great kind of doctor.
Yeah. Well,
our
doctor.
I was going to further describe him.
You want to ruin that for us too?
No, God, no. We need that. We need that really bad. So anyway, I go to him and I'm talking to him and I mention, or he's like looking at my chart and he realizes where I live. And he's, not that he didn't know that. I mean, he knows me. We go back.
No, but but still, he has a lot of patience. Come on.
So he's like, oh, you live there. I'm so jealous. My favorite Chinese restaurant is there. And I guess it used to be in a different location and he had easier access to it. But he said, like, once a year, his pharmaceutical reps will, like, have a big luncheon for them. And he always requests that they have to make the trek to get this Chinese food because it's his all-time favorite. And so I came home. I was very excited to tell you about that. Now, I didn't tell him, oh, by the way, my husband's a VIP there. I was just like, oh, we love that place. I'm going to save that for you to tell him when you see him next.
Thank you for that win.
So go ahead.
So then I went in a couple days after that, and I was like, I think I need to put all these pieces together and see how much validity our doctor in what he was saying had. So I roll in there. It's my normal person helping me that I think is the main reason I have VIP status. And
is this person, because it's like a family thing.
Yeah. So this isn't like mom or dad.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
gal guy?
Gal, yeah. And I said, hey, my wife just went to the doctor and he like loves your guys' restaurant. Did you used to be in a different location like over here? And her eyes kind of lit up a little bit and like she instantly called her mom over.
No. Oh, Andy.
And she was like, 30 years ago, we worked at this location over here and then moved. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy, because our doctor, my wife just saw him. He was saying how much he loved your food. And they're like, who's the doctor? I say the doctor. Totally knew who I was talking about.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and he even said that once a year, he like somehow gets your food. And I'm like, I don't really understand like how. And the mom was like, oh, like a pharmaceutical company picks it up, which is it.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. So they totally knew. In addition to that, I guess a big part of their business is they do like a lot in the mornings. They're making food for like hospitals and doctors' offices. They're like, on Thursdays, we have like a 60-person order at Cedars-Sinai. Is that the name of a hospital?
Yeah.
It's a big one, right?
Yeah, one of the bigger ones.
But I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, so not only did she know, they're also like in with doctors in general, I think.
That's amazing. Oh
Now,
my God.
anyways, but it was just like a very cool moment, and it gave me the power to go back to our doctor with the story, and it leveled me up with the mom.
Yes.
At this place. Anyway, I just love it so much. I don't think I've ever been as nervous about talking about something on our show as I am talking about this. Because if this in some way tarnishes that.
No.
And I know people might be saying, oh, you guys are crazy. It's just we get caught with our pants down sometimes on this show. Like, we really do.
Yeah.
In ways that we would never think could happen.
People that you would... Can I say one thing? Like, you can delete this if you want to. But,
Jesus.
we talked about your ex. We talked about my ex, whatever. One of your ex's other exes reached out to you.
Yeah, but I put that call out on the podcast.
Still, that is wild to me.
But that to me is awesome.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome too. But
even if, let's say, I didn't know, even if he didn't listen to the show, and then I found out via that way that he listened to the show, that would have been equally delightful too. I'm not worried about that stuff. I'm worried about VIP status at my favorite restaurant.
One of the weirder and more delightful ones that we found out of random people who listen to our show is your lawyer, who we both like very much. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Shout out your lawyer. That one really threw me off. Okay, so not threw me off, threw me on,
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. So that's a wonderful...
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Restaurant story. Don't get in your head about it. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I want to talk about... I have two more things I would love to talk about today. One is something that has brought so much joy into my life during this time that's pretty stressful. Pretty stressful time for me.
Can we back up for 1 second?
Sure.
I don't want it to come off like... I want to say that this restaurant also, I noticed that they have a very familiar...
You're freaking out.
No. I want to say that they also, I've noticed, have their other customers that when I walk in, they're having like a very familiar, very great kind of banter with that. Like, I think they cultivate these level of relationships that I'm on, and I don't even know how VIP I am. I just think I'm on like the good list, right? Where there's other people like yourself that's not going the distance, that's not getting that treatment. But like, I don't want it to feel like I'm saying I'm too VIP. I think they're just also like really good at their, they're really good. They're just like a really great family, and people love them, and they have good. Does that make sense? We can move on now.
I'm just so confused about your mindset. Oh, wait, let's dissect this a little, please.
There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it.
No, but, like, I understand. And by the way, your song, I mean, I'm kind of ribbing you. And
I'm not actually, I know. That would be the craziest part of all of this is if song. Yes. I'm just worried about just talking about the restaurant.
Can I get through this, please?
Yeah.
Please let me speak.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not worried about the song either. Mm-hmm. What I find funny is that at first you're like kind of playfully worried about the song and like if you lose your standing with this restaurant. But now you seem like you're embarrassed, like they're going to be put off by you saying that you're VIP, and they're behind the scenes going, he thinks he's VIP? Please. Well, we have people who are much higher. Babe, I think if you're getting texts, oh, we're closed today, open tomorrow again, like, you're pretty VIP.
I don't need that validation right now. That I think you nailed some of it, but not really. You're never going to understand this.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Okay. Moving on.
I don't want to edit anything out.
There's nothing to edit out.
Okay, great. So I want to talk about something that's brought me so much joy and I'm so excited about in this very stressful time.
Okay.
As I said.
Do I know what this is?
Yeah. I don't feel like it's brought everyone else as much joy, which is totally fine.
Okay.
I am obsessed with our new friend, Brownie.
Oh, the bird?
Yes, Brownie the bird. So we realized a week and a half ago,
Yeah.
Teddy, our daughter, has an eagle eye. I mean, truly remarkable.
Quite literally.
Quite literally.
Saw an eagle recently.
We were up at the cabin. We were on a rowboat. You know, there are these huge towering pine trees all around this lake. And a bird was flying overhead, as they do. There are ducks everywhere. That's all sorts of wildlife. And Teddy said, it's a bald eagle. And
I said, no.
You said, I don't think so, honey. Because why is that your instinct?
I was looking at it and it didn't look like a bald eagle to me. And then it got closer and then it was like, oh shit, that's a bald eagle. She has better eyes than I do.
Right.
And we've seen bald eagles together, her and I, before.
Oh.
And I didn't shoot that one down.
Okay.
It just sounded like, God, I'm in my head on this episode. It just sounded like you were like, I was just knocking down our daughter, seeing the magic of a bald eagle just because I'm an asshole. I just think I know what a bald eagle looks like because I have a little experience. And I didn't think it was one.
Yeah.
Until it got closer. Her eyesight better than mine.
And then you realized, oh, it is. And then it was so magical. We're tracking this bald eagle. It perched up on a few different trees for a while.
And yet, this isn't even a bald eagle story we're about to tell.
No. But I was just amazed at her pinpointing that. I mean, you obviously are amazed because you discounted it. So then we get home. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how she was sitting outside in front of our house and noticed in this tree in our yard that there is a tiny little nest.
Yeah.
And it's a hummingbird nest.
Yeah.
And we got out the ladder, very careful not to touch anything, but you got up, once this story concludes, which will be like the babies hatching and stuff like that, I'll post pictures of all of this, but we got pictures of the tiny 2 little hummingbird eggs. Yeah. The mommy is such a good mommy. Is there all the time. We've actually made it so that people can't come into our gate because we don't want to.
It's in a precarious spot.
We don't want to disturb her, anytime. But I feel like she and I have formed kind of a bond because,
really?
Other people will come close to it or people walking by on the other side of her gate, she'll take off, zoom. Okay. And you hear it.
Yeah.
I can get pretty close to her and she doesn't move a muscle. And I'm staring at her and she's staring at me. I really love this bird.
It is in fact, when you see the bird, listen, when you see a bird in a nest in general, it's adorable.
It's a magical thing.
But when there's 2 little eggs under there and she's sitting on top of the eggs, it takes it to a whole new level.
And it's been kind of cold and windy here. And I'm like, oh, you're such a good mommy. She's just sitting there. And then she goes and gets breakfast and she comes back. I mean, the other day, I thought I might have seen some blood on her. No, you go.
Jesus, wait, how?
You go through. Well, this is what's kind of funny. I have binoculars.
Yeah.
In our house, that I can look out the front and look at her very clearly with them. It's all lined up.
Yeah.
I'd say 25 times a day I'm picking up those binoculars. Mm-hmm. Now we did have some neighbors who I caught them walking by and I was like, hey, I have to show you. We have a hummingbird's nest. And then she was like, that's why you've been staring out of your window with binoculars.
They fucking thought you were looking at them with binoculars.
Yes, I'm sure. I know. I'm sure a lot of people do. So, You know the house across the street where we said that like the guy wouldn't save us if we were being murdered?
Yeah.
So those people kind of scare me a little bit.
By the way, I definitely think he would save us. We differ on that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've definitely picked up the binoculars and then saw that they were there. And I'm like, I don't want them thinking I'm spying on them.
No, that's not a good look.
I definitely don't want that.
No.
So anyway, I'm more after that situation. I've been much more careful about when I pick up the binoculars. I make sure like we're in the clear, no one's walking by.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I saw like a little bit of red on Brownie. We've named her for the kids. Named her Brownie.
Mm-hmm. Through the binoculars?
Not the name I would have picked. I'm just gonna say, but yes, on her like breast.
Okay.
And I was like, oh no. And I even went to first of all, I had in my Amazon cart, like the hummingbird feeder. I was like, I need to have the food really close by.
We have food right here, brand new, unopened.
Do we have a feeder?
I don't know.
Why do we have food?
Because one of our kids make a hummingbird thing?
Oh, that little ring.
Well, I got the food.
Okay, well, maybe we'll get a feeder because I was like, I want the food to be close for her if she's injured. I don't want her to have to go far and endure the elements and other animals and birds and stuff.
Okay.
I was looking up, like, places you could take an injured bird around here. I didn't get too far into that. Mm-hmm. But I was getting very nervous, and I was thinking about...
It's called a vet.
I don't know if veterinarians accept wild injured birds. I think that's a more
cute little hummingbird?
I think that's a more specialized thing, but I don't know. But, we watched a video of a guy who found at a pet store, like a random parakeet egg was on the bottom of a cage.
Right.
And he took it home and incubated it, and you have to turn it twice a day. I mean, I was like, are we getting an incubator for these eggs? I was going...
Of course you go to this.
Of course. So your brain works in this funny way about like, oh my God, is the Chinese restaurant offended that I said I'm too VIP? I go to catastrophizing and like the worst thing is going to happen. Well,
that would be the worst thing that could happen in my scenario, by the way. Just to be clear.
It's just different types of catastrophes. Yeah. Mine always ends in some sort of death.
Yeah, that tracks.
So anyway... Luckily, the next day, I realized that's just some coloring on her breast.
Great.
She has some red undertone. Hummingbirds have that kind of magic coloring where in different lights they look iridescent in different ways. Anyway, I am obsessed with her. I am so excited to see those babies hatch.
Okay.
I will at this point do anything for them.
Okay, this is crazy. Listen, talking about this is giving me a renewed energy. Right when this started... We look up like how long till babies come, and it could be like, it was something like
18 days.
Yeah, it could be 18 days. It could be more than that too, I
yes.
think. And we're like, well, what if we fucking miss it? And I was like, I'm going to set up a camera.
Yes.
But then I kind of gave up because like it was kind of hard figuring out what kind of camera can record 24 hours a day and all this stuff. And I maybe had come to a solution that would cost us like $70, which like now I'm like, we should set up that camera.
Yes. I didn't think you came up with a solution.
There might be one.
Because what about those speaking of bald eagles, they have those bald eagle cameras up at Lake Erin.
That's a webcam.
Oh, okay. And we couldn't have a webcam?
I don't know how we do have an extra webcam around. I don't know how we could hook it up to like a computer. Where does the computer go? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you connect the wire to the computer outside?
Is there Bluetooth? Aren't there Bluetooth webcams?
Not exact. Anyways, this is too boring. But I am like, I should maybe figure it out because to get that video would be so awesome.
Andy, I'm telling you, like, I'm so obsessed with this. And, our kids like to see her and stuff. And it is magical. Yesterday, I took Otis out to ride his bike. And he got pretty close to her. And he was like, whoa.
Because... Okay,
she's so tiny.
Let's talk about worst case scenario. We miss the hatching. Are they going to live there for a little bit? Like, how long does that last?
Yeah, they will live there for a little bit while she feeds them and they grow strong. But we're going to hear, I'm excited to hear the, like, little noises and see the little scrawny, like, tiny bird heads popping up with the beak points.
Now, if we set up a camera, won't that look weird to neighbors? And or are we putting a sign on it that's like the hummingbird cam, but then does that put the hummingbirds in danger if people know what's going on? That's where I'm like, how do we pull it off? Or do we not even care and we just set up a camera?
I don't
people
think we
whatever
care.
they think?
I mean, the camera's not pointing out at people. It's pointing...
It sort of is. I guess there's different ways we could set it up.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about this more later.
But it does seem like something we need to do.
I agree.
Because then we could show people...
Oh, my God.
What it looks like.
I agree.
Okay. Well, it is magical, and it would be nice to have some documentation. If we're ever feeling blue down the road, we can look back at our hummingbird hatching.
It's so wonderful. It feels like such a gift. It's like right in front of our house. Mm-hmm. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that has brought a lot of joy into my life. Speaking of bringing joy into lives, we had an incident happen up at the cabin. We went to a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good God. No. Okay. Let's go.
2 firemen come in and sit in the booth behind us. You know, firemen up there is a whole different ballgame. Mm-hmm. Not that, I mean, I think everyone should... Firemen are truly heroic. I cannot fathom doing that job and putting yourself in danger.
Yeah.
But up there, it's a whole different ballgame. Like, they have to get to places. You know, if a fire starts anywhere up there, it can be absolutely catastrophic to tens of thousands of people. Versus here, when a fire starts, obviously the fear is that 1 or 2 people could lose their lives. But, like, there's so many people here and there's such easy access usually to get to homes that it doesn't, you know.
Sure.
So up there, though, if a fire gets out of control, it's game over for so many people. So truly such heroes in my eyes. Mm-hmm. They're sitting behind us.
Yep.
You can tell, like, at this kind of diner place, they frequent there a lot. Everyone knows them. And I kind of mouthed to Andy, because we're with the kids, like, can we get their dinner?
Right.
And you got so fucking weird. What was so annoying about this was you like, obviously didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But also were so weird about conveying the information to me. We're trying to do this kind of on the sly.
Yeah.
That you didn't really give me an answer. So I kept being like...
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Finally, you said, not the time or place, which I found very odd.
Well, you also got so upset. Like,
I was more upset because
your
you
dinner.
were... No.
You seemed very angry.
Back.
Yeah, you eventually bounced back.
I wasn't angry. I was put off by it because I was like, I assumed you'd be like, yeah.
Yes.
And then also, it wasn't just that, it was the way you were giving me the information I found very annoying. Like, instead of just going, no, I'll explain later, you had this, like, you turned into this weirdo. You were like, it was like you couldn't engage.
Well, they were also staring right at me, one of them. Uh-huh. You didn't see them at all. Your back was turned to them completely. Mm-hmm. So I felt I just felt, number one, you were saying that, and then I felt awkward about it and conveying it to you. I'm going to explain my whole side of my story.
I would love to hear it.
And I know I'm going to be the asshole here.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was the right time for this particular gesture. Let me say out the gate, I think the spirit and that type of gesture is a beautiful, gracious thing to do. Okay? I think, if I'm in your head, we're sitting at this dinner, these firefighters come in, you see that they're, like, recognized by the waitress, and you're like, oh, firefighters, and, like, awesome, right? Then a man came over that used to work with one of them.
Did I ask you this before or after he came over?
Right after. Because that started inspiring you.
No, I think I had the thought right when they walked in.
Okay, that kind of changes things a little bit for me.
I mean, okay.
in a way.
Okay.
But anyways, this guy comes over and is like, oh my God, are you so-and-so? Like, we used to work together ages ago. Wow, you're now a firefighter. Maybe it was like, I've heard that you're a firefighter. Because one of the guys was older gentleman. Mm-hmm. But I'm witnessing this whole interaction with a perfect view. You don't see any of it because your back's to them. Mm-hmm. It was one of the most awkward interactions I've ever seen. Okay?
Okay.
The older fireman seemed like a really nice guy, but like kind of stoic. Just wasn't giving anything back to this guy.
Really?
Wasn't being rude or anything, but it was just an awkward interaction.
Whereas the guy seemed like
he was so excited to see this guy.
What he was looking for was, oh, right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. The interaction was so awkward looking to me that I was very surprised that when that same guy left, he then later brought his young son over to be like, he just wanted to say hello because he saw the fire truck outside. I was like, oh, that's really cute. The son wanted to say hi to the firefighter. But I was like surprised.
Knowing how little they gave him earlier.
Yes, but the firefighters were so sweet to the kid.
Okay.
And so nice. But anyway, so that's part of the context for me. That I'm going in and I just see this awkward interaction. And then you're like, right after it, like, let's buy their dinner. Here are the scenarios where I personally would be very comfortable with that gesture.
You have a list.
Okay.
By the way, can I say something? Mm-hmm. We didn't even get to this point.
Okay.
Me saying let's buy them dinner meant that I wanted to tell the waitress we want to get their bill, but not say to them, we want to get your dinner.
Great.
Like, and ideally we leave before them and sneak out and there's no acknowledgement.
Okay. Number one, that's on my list if that's a great way to do the thing. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Here's times where I would have felt more comfortable and inappropriate. One is like, had we had any sort of like fun, good interaction with them, like any sort of thing of like, we had taken our son over because he saw the fire truck or anything. We had no interaction with them at all. Plus I saw how awkward the interaction is with the other person. Two, I also feel like those gestures, the thing that popped in my mind is like, we just went through a time up there where we're like, we got so much crazy snow. And like, I was thinking about like the plow drivers that were working their asses off. Crazy.
Firefighters also.
Of course.
Yeah.
But like, had it been like wildfire season that we were in the thick of, or like snow thing. But I'm just saying the context of it is like, oh my God, where that's one where you can like acknowledge them in like, oh my God, thank you guys so much for busting your ass. Like, holy shit, we want to get you dinner. You have an interaction. I love the classy, they don't even know someone just gets it for them. Mm-hmm. All of these things, though, there was something about it that was like, it made me uncomfortable, like it wasn't the right time. I think the gesture's the best. I can hear, I understand how much of an asshole I sound like right now.
No, I mean, well, what's interesting is, I will say this.
I want to crawl under a hole right now.
You have these like rules that you think apply. Like I'm sorry, but your rule of it would be okay if they came in with like soot dusting their face and it's like wildfire season. And it's like, I mean, they're heroes whether or not they've just, you know.
Absolutely.
To me, there aren't like specific times and situations where it's the right thing to do. But were you playing footsie with me?
My foot just went to sleep in like such a bad way. So I'm trying to like.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to like either play footsie or signal you to shut the fuck up.
Is it nice that I assumed it was footsie?
Yeah.
But what I do hear.
I can't. I'm having okay, go on.
What I do hear is I totally get you watch this awkward interaction. And from what I'm gathering, you didn't love how they responded to this guy. Like,
no, I don't even want it to sound like that. It was an awkward interaction. And then I think I was bracing for what awkward interaction I would have had to endure watching you try to pull off this move when you were sitting right next to them. Like,
You
In
also
your mind, when
probably
were you going to
thought
tell the wait? Like, how were you going to pull it off?
Well,
They were out of there before we left.
you probably thought that I was going to be like, "Hi, we'd like to get your dinner,"
Absolutely thought
which
that.
that's not my style.
So how would you have done it?
I would have gone up to the waitress then and said, "Hey, we want to get their check, but just anonymously or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like, "Oh, that's so nice." I mean, also gets us kind of in with that waitress, which I really want to.
You're already in with her.
So-
now that it's almost like you'd be trying too hard.
Well,
If you're even factoring that into the equation with your relationship with the waitress.
Well, speaking of your VIP set, so one time at our local nail salon, there was a woman getting a manicure pedicure, and she was talking about she's starting chemo the next week. And so when I was checking out before her, and she was like down the row, I told him I wanted to buy her nails.
Okay.
And he thought that was so nice.
Yeah.
And like he then texted, because it's like a text thing that I thought was more automated, but it turns out it's just a person like texting.
Okay.
He texted me like, she was so touched. Thank you for doing that. So now I have a text. Now I don't have to go through their website to make an appointment. I literally just text him and I say, "Hey, can I get in?" And he knows because of our thread that I did that. And he thought it was so nice that I think it gets me. And now, listen.
This is not how you...
Listen.
God. Oh, my God.
I'm not doing...
Oh, yes. No. Oh, my God.
No, I'm not.
This
I'm
is...
not doing it for the perks. It's a win-win-win. It's like, I would do it even if there were no perks. But listen, of course, I didn't know how that was going to go over. I didn't know that I was going to get a streamlined text situation when I offered to pay for her nails. I genuinely wanted to brighten her day. And there have been times in my life where people have done something like that for me. And it's such a nice thing.
And yet the takeaway in this nail situation is that now you have a direct link to the guy.
What a mitzvah. What a joyous thing that came from this other joyous thing. Right?
Now, let's say we were balling, okay?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing also is that I also thought maybe that's part of it is because obviously I'm on strike and we don't need to be like throwing money around willy-nilly.
I mean, I think that probably like crossed my mind a little bit, but we're at, it's like a diner, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say we're balling. Okay.
I would love that. I could buy that perfume.
And there's like some sort of, I don't know, maybe it's like an addition at like the university you or I went to. We don't really give a shit about that though, do we? What's something that would resonate for us? Anyways, where we could donate to
Children's Hospital. Great.
I don't know if that works, but let's run with it. Would you do the donation anonymously if you were going to donate $10 million? Do you want your name in that building for that acknowledgement, or are you doing it anonymously? For
something like that, yeah, I'll take the name. I mean, sure. I mean, and also that's how places fundraise. There's that new Vidiot's in Eagle Rock. Mm-hmm. They are, so for people who don't live in LA or don't know about this, there's this really cool video store that used to be in Santa Monica, and it had like it's old school rental, not VHS, although I think they do have VHS, but DVDs or Blu-rays of like an insane catalog of movies and a theater space. And it's just really cool kind of, last man standing of a dying kind of type of place. So it's also very nostalgic. Well, they fundraised and opened a new Vidiot's in Eagle Rock, which is on the east side of LA, and they have like an amazing theater. They decked it out. I think they made the space incredible, and you can go rent movies and you can do events there, and it's going to be amazing. Well, to fundraise, the Duplass brothers donated so much money that it's like the Duplass brothers box office is what is written there. You can also like sponsor a seat in the movie theater and you get a little plaque, and that's their way of like fundraising is like you do get the acknowledgement of this thing, and you can go and be like, I mean, it's like at Little Dom's, there's a John Hamm booth. Like, oh, I'm sitting in the John Hamm booth or
But
whatever.
that's probably because he used to sit in that booth a lot. I don't
He
think
didn't.
he paid to be
he
on
didn't
that
pay.
booth.
No. But anyway, that's the idea behind that video. It's fundraising thing, which I think is cute, and I don't think it's gross that people are like doing that for a good cause and have their name on it.
No, I think we just used two poor examples.
Okay. Well, speak for yourself. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either. I was basically trying to...
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I just want to like big picture this.
Yeah.
You do a lot of good in this world. You know, you do a lot of good for me and our kids and those who love you, and you're a A+ human being.
You better be real careful with what you're about to say next.
I will say, like, when was the last time you did something like that, or went out of your way to get an unhoused person a coffee, or I gave a mom who was out, it seemed an unhoused mom with her son who was asking for money for food. Mm-hmm. When I took Otis to Porto's the other day and I gave her money, like, when was the last time you did that?
A very long time.
So, big picture, like, you can have all of these rules or be like, oh, Elizabeth, it doesn't count because she's getting fringe benefits along with it, so that somehow knocks out. No. I am brightening people's days. Mm-hmm. I'm helping people out. If there are fringe benefits that come along with it, so great. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it's right to pass judgment on, like, that the intention is not pure enough if you get acknowledgement or any sort of benefit out of it.
I feel that. I understand. I knew this whole time I was going to look like the jerk. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I don't think you're a jerk at all. It's interesting. Just different.
But
What I was going to say is, and I know you kind of corrected me, it didn't seem like these guys were rude or anything, but I understand, like, having watched this awkward interaction, you're really uncomfortable with awkward public interactions. Like, we were tired, we wanted to go home, and it was just like, let's just eat our meal and go. And I understand if you thought I was going to be like, hi,
no,
we
exactly.
blah, 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 that you didn't want to participate in that.
I thought it was going to turn into, like, something so uncomfortable and almost backfire, if you will. Mm-hmm. That's what I was worried about.
You know what I thought? I thought you maybe thought it was, like, going to be offensive to them to be like, we want to pay for your meal, as though, like, a firefighter can't, like, we can pay for our own meal, where I'm like, no, this is very different. It's for heroes. Like,
right.
Right. This is a different situation, but that wasn't it at all.
But how would we know they were heroes without the char marks and stuff?
Because they're up there.
I know.
Yeah. Maybe another time.
Yes. Maybe.
Okay, well, I think that's good for today. I want to give a little Perfume update for anyone who has listened to the last several episodes. Mm. So many wonderful listeners replied, like, they're great dupes for the Baccarat Rouge 540. Mm-hmm. I had ordered one of those from Dossier.
Okay.
Not realizing that you had gone ahead and gone off to Neiman Marcus and gotten me a little vial of the real deal.
Yeah.
So I started with the real deal because I got that first.
Okay.
I need to ask you. I mean, I love it.
Okay.
I think, St. Monica had texted me, how's it sitting on that skin? I think it's sitting pretty.
Yeah.
The first time I did it inside, I sprayed inside, and it was a little much for you. Yeah. So I've taken to spraying it outside on my wrists and walking into it and stuff. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about it?
I'm on the fence about it. There have been times where I'm like, ooh, that's nice. I think my nose is so sensitive. I know the second you even spray outside, I can smell it inside. I'm that sensitive to it. Mm-hmm. It's very true. Okay. But I've had a couple moments where I'm like, ooh, I like that smell. So my only, the con of it for me is just like there is something maybe just in the early bits of you having it on where it just feels overpowering to me. But I think it's a nice scent for a perfume.
Well, this is interesting because the dupe from Dossier came.
All right.
And so I've been able to kind of try both.
Okay.
Now, okay, the Dossier dupe is probably exactly it. But I think that I have some of the mental thing of it's a dupe, it's not the real thing.
Okay.
Like mentally, I prefer the real thing.
Oh, really?
But I think that the one difference that I can say is I think the dupe has less staying power. So maybe you prefer that I wear the dupe anyway. But
I don't know,
it's
but now
very similar.
I'm very curious is there a way that we could do a real 1-to-1 test? Is it like spraying each wrist or something? Or how would you do a 1-to-1?
That is hard because it's like it blends with your own chemistry and stuff like that. So
could you do it on like 2 index cards, that kind of test to me?
We could definitely do that, and we should do that. But what I want to do is I will wear one day, and at the beginning when I put it on, we can, you give me a hug and whatever, and then at the end of the day, give me a hug, and we'll see where that lands, and then a couple showers later, we'll do the other one and do the same thing, and I'm not going to tell you which is which.
Okay, that's a fun test. I think an even more fun test is if I'm the sprayer and you're blindfolded for each of these.
Oh, yes.
That you don't know what it is.
Right.
That's the ultimate test.
Okay, that is the ultimate test.
Like, don't you think that sounds fun?
Yes.
Let's do that. And
but
then
it's a true credit to this dupe that it's this close that there's a chance I might not know which it is. But I also mentally just prefer.
This is how we'll have to do it because I think you're probably so savvy gold. That you would even know the feel of the spray.
Yeah.
Or the sound of it. You're going to need to have headphones on and blindfolded.
Yes.
And then I'll have to watch you once how you do it in general so I know how to be doing it.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
All right, we'll do a blind test for you.
For anyone who wants to support these types of shenanigans, you can go to patreon.com/nobodieslisteninright and get a bonus monthly episode of us chit-chatting about whatever is on our minds. Also, wanted to let everyone know that you have 24 opportunities now to get under that first 500 where Andy's going to be sending out the intro song MP3. You laugh, Andy, but people want this. This is what the people want. They want it even if they don't know it.
Wow.
So please get in while the getting's good.
Okay.
Because past 500 can't guarantee an MP3.
Interesting.
So it's at the first 500.
Can you say that an amazing listener sent you a candle of that
Oh
scent?
My God, yes. Kate, thank you, Kate.
Holy shit.
First of all.
That's how you support the show. Send a candle of the perfume. Sent
the legitimate Baccarat Rouge candle to me, which is such a joy. I'm so thrilled to have it. Yeah. I'm going to put it when we have guests in our powder room to have going. And so thrilled. And also, can I just say, Kate sent the nicest note on monogrammed stationery that I'm so envious of. We have classy listeners. I was like, whoa, this is how you do life. That's
sweet.
So nice. So thank you, Kate.
All right.
All right. Good night.
Good night.